Hey everybody, Louis Beauchamp, Vice President at Final Expense Direct. And here's another video of our morning meeting highlights. Some great sales tips that you can use right away. Hope you enjoy them. Like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. You guys be safe out there. Thanks a
All
bunch.
been down this road. But I had a transfer from an operator. It was a TV5 transfer. And she was introducing me to the lady, and the lady says, hold on now. I didn't say I want to buy anything. I'm just calling off your TV advertisement where I can get 50,000 for pennies a day.
Mm.
I said, can you check to make sure that's me? So she opened it up. She goes, oh man, beautiful white beard. First of all,
Oh
yeah. So
gosh,
now I
here
know
we
she's looking
go.
at the card really seriously
Hmm.
there. I said, if you're going to open that on up, I just want to go over a couple of things with you on there. You see my license number, my national producer number. That's my license number for your state. I always build my card up a little bit, guys. I say that license number lets you know that I'm licensed by your state. I'm actually the senior underwriter. I actually determine who qualifies for insurance. That's how I build my card up. Kind of make me feel it, seem a little important to people. They say, "Oh," she said, you're the big guy." I say, "Yes, ma'am." So
Tell you.
went over the website information, gave her that. I'm just going to kind of bounce around so I don't take a long time, but there's some important things in here that I want you guys to catch. And I say that's why the advertisement says up to 50,000. I went back to stress that so she can catch it up to 50,000. So I said seniors are choosing what fits their budget. Not everybody can afford a $50,000 policy. Not everybody's trying to get a $50,000 policy. People are putting in place what fits their budget. She said, okay, I understand that. I said, I understand you have some coverage. She said, yeah. I said, if you don't mind me ask how much you have. She said, I got about 12,000. I said, congratulations on that. That lets me know that you know the importance of having this. You don't want to leave a burden on your children or your family, loved ones. She said, yeah, because I just cremated my brother. And she said, that was tough on me, and I don't want to leave that on my children. She said, I'm going to be cremated too. I say, I understand. I say, well, now here's the key part, guys. I say, well, have you ever thought about just picking up a smaller policy just to cover your cremation and leave your daughters? She told me she had two girls. Leave your daughters that 12,000. She say, no, nobody can tell me I can do that. I didn't know I could do that. I said, well, you can have as much insurance as you can afford, man. People take out insurance for different reasons. She said, well, I never thought about that. I said, well, I'm going to show you something that might be real helpful for you here. Because cremation today runs around 3 to 5,000. She said, yeah, because my brother's, it was right at 4,000. So long story short, I jumped on. I say, well, let's look at it after I pre-qualified and find out, yeah, she qualifies for immediate benefit. I said, let's look at a 3,000 and a 5,000. Quoted her three. She said, okay. I said, let's look at the five. You really don't really need to go any higher, but if you feel like you can, we can go higher. Gave her the five. It was around 50 some bucks. She said, that's doable. What do I need to do next? Uh, right there, I went on and closed it. But the reason I went over this story, guys, I didn't go the direction of trying to get her to replace her 12,000, add more to her 12,000. I showed her a different picture where she can keep the 12,000 that's going to be there for her kids. So now she's got her I's dotted and her T's crossed. One policy is for the funeral home, the other policy is for her daughters. So just kind of think about that, guys. Don't get into a competitive thing of trying to get people to replace things and add on another big policy, which they're probably not going to be able to afford. I wasn't going to try to compare what her 12,000 was to what we had today. I just wanted to paint a different picture. And that's how that came into being. And guess what? I didn't hear anything else about a pennies a day or $50,000.
Well, I'm gonna say something. Outstanding story, John. And I'm gonna just say that it started with the business card, okay? That
Right?
opened the door up and established a very solid foundation for trust. So what happened was is as you went forward, you just kind of poked and prodded, and what you did was created a need that she probably didn't even think about.
Exactly.
And because the business card, you established that trust, she is now. And then that gave him some ideas of where to take her
Right.
going forward. And that's what it takes, man. So we telling y'all, man, listen, but listen, if y'all could just kind of think outside the box a little bit and just say, you know, look, it's 2025. The game has completely changed since COVID. You have to transition your mindset to understand that almost 95% of the industry is doing exactly the same thing we doing. So if you don't approach your leads with number one, confidence, you know, letting these people know that I am the man. That's what John did. You know, he established confidence, you know, and then you got to, you know, kind of think outside the box. All right. You know, touch these people's heart, be honest, humble on the phone, you know, and then it'll work out for you. So, man, that's pretty good, John. I'm proud of you, big dog. Go ahead, Kim.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, if I could just add real quick, I won't take much of your time. But I'm going to tell you the most important part of John's call was his attitude going into the call.
Absolutely.
I'm going to figure out how to help everybody that I talk to, whether they're new to insurance, don't know how it works, they got insurance, are looking for more. I bought some, I don't like it because it's got a 2-year wait. I bought something I really wanted, but now I can't afford it. I bought something, my light bill went up, I'm about to lose it, I need help. You don't know who's on the other side of that phone. You have to go into every call looking for, how can I help? The way I do that, credible, so they have faith in me, heartfelt, so they know I'm a real guy that cares, and then good questions. Good questions. I personally loved to talk to people that had insurance. You all know as well as I do, a lot of agents, when they heard she had $12,000 and I'm prejudging, she probably got a $1,200 a month check, she can't afford much more, I'm going to say, Miss Mary, you got 12 grand, your funerals, that'll take care of your cremation, you're fine, God bless you, have a great day, give me another lead, and you just blew a damn sale. Oh, hear me. You know what I'm saying. I love to talk to people that got insurance. Why? They're buying the mindset of a real salesperson that's here to help people and understand the more people I'm able to help, my family gets to come along for the ride. Right? So, John, great job.
Appreciate you.
Everybody learned from what we just talked. Go into every call, digging deep, but not until credibility is established and they got a feel for that you're the guy. Okay? The next call is a different personality, different question. Right? I just married my brother. Oh God, I'm so sorry to hear that. Was it expected? What happened? Did he have a plan in place to help, or did you have to put that money together on your own, you and your family? Tell me about that. You're showing you got a heart. You're throwing out there into their mind that you understand there's expenses that come like that. Right? Good job, John.
Thank you, sir.